Alright, so the theme for this deck is gaining a whole bunch of life points and trying to use those life points to your advantage in some way to win without decking them out. Because a lot of my life point gain decks basically just trying to stall out long enough until my opponent deck outs. This one tries to win like the normal way with just attacking or through like effect damage, through Mirror Force or Ring of Destruction. And I kind of wish the new Ring of Destruction cards were in the game. I don't actually know what they do, but if they do anything similar to Ring of Destruction, actually, let me just look them up real quick. Alright, I'm back from looking it up. Loop of Destruction seems like it would fit with this deck, since I do destroy a lot of cards of Dried Winds, and Destruction Dragon seems okay as well. I'll make a new deck in the future that has those with this life point theme. It's not like I can't just make another deck. This one on its own, though, worked out just fine. Starlight Road seemed to be more than enough to take care of the problem that this deck is completely countered by Twin Twister. final thoughts on this deck. I think I end up calling this Ancient Leaf pure life point gain deck. I don't actually think of a title of the video until like the very end of it, so I don't know what I'm going to name this yet until I'm like right about to upload it. Anyways, I just wanted to build a life point gain deck to use. Why did I want to build? I don't know. I just wanted to build another life point gain deck, and I was like, I want to do one that doesn't try to deck them out. So I was like, Blazing Mirror Force and Ring of Destruction. Will that be enough to actually win me games? Probably not, but thanks to Dried Winds and Replenishment Squad, these two cards right here basically give life point gain decks a fighting chance, since Replenishment Squad gives you a whole bunch of advantage. Oh, actually, Altar of the Mind's Eye as well, since it limits the amount of damage you can take each turn, and guarantees at least one draw from Replenishment Squad. So I guess these three cards. Mainly Dried Winds and Replenishment Squad, though. Altar of the Mind's Eye is really nice. It really slows things down and allows you to actually live long enough. Since if you have like just a wall of a ton of life points, they can't OTK you if you have Altar of the Mind's Eye out. At the very most, they can do 6,000 damage in a turn, which is 6 draws off of Replenishment Squad. So it does combo pretty well with it. Dried Winds, though, is like the big one, because every time you gain life points, you just get to destroy a monster, which is a really good effect. Like, so good. This is the only reason I'm able to actually make life point gain decks. Same with Replenishment Squad. I guess I can't really stress enough just how important these two cards were to the whole life point gain strategy. And that's why I run Golden Ladybug, is because even though it's only 500 life points, it's in my hand, so my opponent can't really remove it, since it's really hard to target cards in the hand. And it's just 500 life points each turn, which means just if I have Dried Winds out, that's one pop during the start of my turn, which is great. Or Aroma Jar, which is another 500 points during the end phase, which means an activation of Dried Winds during my opponent's turn as well. But Aroma Jar is a little bit easier to take care of, even though it has the effect where it can't be destroyed by battle. There are like a lot of non-meta decks that can't get over that easily, so it actually kind of stays out in the field for a long time. Most meta decks just completely destroy this deck, though, especially if I don't draw into Starlight Road early, just because Twin Twister is everywhere. But you don't see those duels. You don't see the ones where I lose super badly in one turn. You see the ones where I get a ton of life points out and draw a crap ton of Replenishment Squad. I do show losses, though, if it's a good game, I think, where it's kind of back and forth and I ended up just losing anyway. But I rarely ever show like more than one. Other things to note, Ancient Leaf was just a nice little addition. I did get to use it pretty much every time I had it in my hand, so I could have run 3 of them. Also, Prime Material Dragon and the Ascended to Thunder. I just threw these 2 cards in for fun to see if they'd work out, and they actually completely saved my ass during one duel. Especially Prime Material Dragon, because I had both a Dark Hole and a Regeki back to back, and I was able to negate both of them. And Ascended to Thunder just allows me to make use of my life points, plus potentially being able to just gain 5,000 on death, which is pretty good. Also, the extra deck, the reason it has a bunch of fusion monsters is because of Try and Guess, in case you were wondering that. I use this card a lot because it's just a pure gain 3,000 life points, but you have to run your extra deck based around that, so I have a crap ton of just fusion monsters in here, in addition to the Stardust Dragons for Starlight Road. I could have modified it a little bit in order to actually include Link monsters, but that's not really what this deck is about. I can't really think of any Link monsters that would help out besides some of the Aromage ones. Not Aromage. Actually, yeah, maybe Aromage cards. And Trickstars, but I didn't want to run those cards. I just wanted to see if I could do a pure life point gain without having to rely on archetypes, even though I do run 2 Aroma cards just because Dried Winds is so good. Also, Side Effects is probably like one of the better life point gain cards, since it has the potential to give you 6,000, but your opponent draws 3 cards, which is a huge downside to that. I don't think I ever used it once, despite it being like the key card of all my other life point gain duels, because I've done this deck quite a few times already. I kind of like it, but the fact that I didn't draw into it might have actually helped me win. So if I redo this deck, I'm just gonna, like if I add Ring of Destruction cards to it, probably gonna remove side effects for those cards. And maybe run more Ascend into Thunders. I don't know if I'd run another Prime Material Dragon though, because I don't really have a lot of tribute fodder.